In the news tonight, efforts ongoing to boost growth in the creative sector. An urgent appeal for help to find a missing St. Philip woman. And in sports, Barbados repeat as Carifta Triathlon champions.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC Newsnight, starting now.
Very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Broom. Thank you so much for tuning in. In our top story tonight, government wants to spur significant growth in the creative industry and is hoping improvements to an entrepreneurial competition will help it achieve this goal. Rochelle Agard has that story.
Plans are in the works to build out the Marcus Garvey Entrepreneurship Pitch Competition on a national level. The aim is to provide an enabling environment for the further development of the creative sector. This from Minister in the Prime Minister's Office with Responsibility for Culture, Senator Dr. Chantal Monroe-Knight, as she delivered remarks at the closing ceremony of the Quilombo Emancipation Village. This year, the competition, which started in 2023, saw a 50% increase in applicants, up from 17 to 34. The final competitors list was narrowed to a pool of 10. However, only 9 of them were able to be reached.
As a nation, and as a nation predominantly of Black people, that we can harness and use the creative talents of our peoples, the creative cultural talents of our people, in order to spur entrepreneurship, to contribute to the economy in an extremely tangible way.
The minister says Barbadians are well positioned to maximize their creative talents.
When the world says to us that we cannot compete, again, in manufacturing, that tourism itself is vulnerable sometimes, but our creative talents and our ability to be able to unleash that can help us to reposition ourselves in the global environment and the global economy.
Dr. Monroe-Knight says, according to statistics released by the University of the West Indies last year, the orange economy is growing at 14% in a post-COVID environment and has the potential to create 166 jobs in the creative sector.
Imagine if we are able to harness that potential for the growth of our very own economy. And the truth is that it could very well be. The unfortunate thing is that as yet, we're not able to account for it. And that is why one of the important planks of the work of the division that has already started, we've started some consultations, focus groups, and we will be moving on to the second stage, again, of data collection. It's about being able to map the contribution of the cultural sector to our national economy.
Next year, the season of emancipation is expected to be even bigger. Rachel Agard, CBC News.
Relatives and friends of missing woman Stacey Haynes are appealing for help with finding her. Today marked day 2 of an extensive search for the 40-year-old Bushy Park St. Philip resident.
Relatives and friends of missing woman Stacey Haynes are praying for a miracle. Scores have turned out to search for the mother of 3, last seen leaving home on Tuesday around 7 p.m. Family members tell CBC News the past few days have been extremely challenging. Brother Patrick Haynes says he just wants to find his little sister.
We prayed this morning before we move off. We prayed yesterday. Everything was successful because people come out. That will make it successful. Again, today, the crowd isn't as big as yesterday, but we're thankful. Everybody that show us support, we're thankful and grateful for, and we put everything in the Lord's hands. If it be His will for me to find my little sister, let it be His will. But as fast as it comes to a closure, the better for all of us.
According to relatives, at the time Ms. Haynes went missing, she was wearing a white, blue and red Tommy Hilfiger shirt, long blue jeans, and a pair of brown Michael Kors slides on her feet. Searchers have been combing areas in St. Philip, including Bushy Park and Riverland, hoping to find a sign or clue that would lead them to her. Cousin Janelle Herwood says even though they do not have the professional resources to make the search easier, they will not give up.
We would like a little bit of help. There's a lot of bush out here. We don't know where, we don't know what has been done, whatever it is, but about how that we could walk alongside her, you will push the grass, whoever, and we will walk alongside her to search. That's the truth. The grass is a bit much for us in the certain areas, the vegetated areas. A drone at least that we could see.
Meanwhile, Herwood describes Stacey Ann as a fun-loving individual.
She liked taking pictures. She loves herself. Honestly, she loves herself. She had a love for she children. That's the truth. Even though she went away to work a time back, and she said, you know what, I gotta go back home and deal with my children. That's the sort of person she was.
Family friend Sherry Ann Ford says she too is holding out hope for a favorable outcome.
To let people be at ease, let me find a little something. Not gonna give yourself a little ease.
Miss Haynes' children are ages 5, 12, and 23. Anesta Henry, CBC News.
A local financial consultant has suggested that not enough is being done to help people with disabilities make sound financial decisions. Lead consultant at Prestige Accounting Inc., David Simpson, says the aim is to end financial challenges even for those in the disabled community. While he praises moves to assist vulnerable people at the automated teller machines, he notes if they have no money, all of these efforts will be for naught. Mr. Simpson made the point as guest speaker at the Barbados Council for the Disabled's annual general meeting.
As a vulnerable group, my plea and my suggestion is, whether it's the banking system, the credit union movement, government, any financial institution, should take great pride in earmarking a certain amount of funds to support the vulnerable community. And I mean you as individuals. I don't mean donations to the council. I don't mean donations to the Kidney Association. That's all well and good. But donations to the associations do what? They help you in terms of treatment. They don't help buy food for you. They don't help pay bills for you. So there has to be some support, of substantial support, and access to loans, grants, etc., that you have despite your disability or challenge.
Mr. Simpson urges people with disabilities to always plan for their needs. He says everyone should have the discipline to differentiate a need from a want.
What I encourage you to do from a budgeting perspective is to make a note for yourself as to what are the streams of income you have. It may be family support. A family member may be giving you $1,000 a month. You may be getting welfare of $100 a week. You may be getting some other grant or assistance of $500 a month. You need to list those sources down and the amounts, see what the total is, and then we need to look at what you are required to spend to survive on a day-to-day basis.
We'll take a break here, but when we come back, we'll tell you about a proposal to address bus service challenges in St. Andrew. The Alliance Owners of Public Transport, AOPT, says it's ready to assist with transportation issues in St. Andrew. This follows issues raised by residents during the recent St. Andrew Speaks, where Prime Minister Mia Amor-Motley and Member of Parliament Dr. Romel Springer were in attendance. Among the issues highlighted were long delays and the availability of buses for the parish. AOPT Chairman Roy Raphael says they're prepared to help find a solution for the problems.
We're ready to provide transportation for the St. Andrew people who want the Transport Authority, the Transport Board, and the representative for St. Andrew, Dr. Romel Springer. If they're all willing and prepared to sit with us, we can find a solution to the problem, and we would like to find a solution to all the problems because those, as I say, comes up at Paris Beach. And we have some routes that does not have transport board buses on it, but we are forced to come off the road after 6 o'clock.
Mr. Raphael also says there are applications in for the transport augmentation program that are awaiting approval. He believes it will take 50 more buses to provide a full fleet to be able to service the island.
There are a number of persons who want to enter the TAP program. There are 25 persons who are basically standing by. Some of these intended operators already purchased vehicles. But as we speak, the Transport Board and the Transport Authority have placed on hold permits for people entering the TAP. So we will see Transport Board have basically about 50 TAP buses that service the country. And it will take additional 50 more basically to bring up to par as it relates to the TAP. We are willing basically to provide any type of assistance to the TAP program.
Guardsman Group Limited is relaunching a youth leadership program for the children. Managing Director Andrew McLean says the program is a good opportunity for young people to develop soft skills, among other things. Mr. McLean was speaking during the company's back-to-school drive ceremony, where children about to enter secondary school whose parents work at Guardsman received back-to-school supplies.
We're relaunching again our youth leadership program. And we're launching it not just for Guardsman, but to whomever will buy into it. Because why? At the end of the day, if our mindsets don't change from when we are very young, we take these mindsets with us all the way through to adulthood. And it is very hard, after 7 years old, it is very hard to change personalities, emotions, behavior after 7. But if we can catch them as much before they get out there into the harsh working world, where they're already rigid.
Good evening with Sports Night. I'm Mark Seal. Barbados are the 2024 Carifta Triathlon champions. The defending champs repeated with 207 points after the second and final day of events, which included the aquathlon and the mixed relays. Now, day one leaders Bermuda ended in second place on 180, while Trinidad and Tobago finished third on 58. Some individual winners from today for Team Barbados saw Zara Gaskin winning the female 20 to 21 age group aquathlon. In the 13 to 15 age group, Layla McIntyre was first and Isabella Mayer second. And in the 11 to 12 age group, the top boy was Yellow Renwick Williams. Now we have a report on the 16 to 19 age group. The aquathlon involves 2 events rather than 3 as in the triathlon, and the 2 are a swim and a run. No cycling. The boys were first into the sea off the mighty Griner Highway, followed by the girls a few minutes later. A group of guys were all timed at 6 minutes 44.15 seconds for the 1,000-meter swim, including yesterday's triathlon 16 to 19 age group winner Finn Armstrong of Barbados, along with teammate Luke McIntyre. In the girls, the general time for the swim was 6 minutes 15.51 seconds, but leading the pack was Nina James of Grenada and Erin Pritchard of the Bahamas. But close behind was the triathlon champ Isis Gaskin of Barbados. Fast forward and look who has back-to-back gold medals. Armstrong completing the 5K run in 7 minutes 16.46 seconds for an overall winning time of 32 minutes 31 seconds. Second today, after being fourth yesterday, was McIntyre. His run was clocked at 7 minutes, 17.02 seconds for an overall time of 32 minutes, 47 seconds. Third was Lonnie Duncombe of the Bahamas, more than 2 minutes behind the Bajan duo. His run came back in 7 minutes, 18.18 for his overall aquathlon time to be 34 minutes, 3 seconds. Now first in the girls was another repeat champion in Gaskin of Barbados. The splits for the girls' run weren't available up to news time, but that's 10 more points for Team Barbados, while James of Grenada finished second. Amelia Rajak of Trinidad finished third. And in the mixed relays, Bermuda came out on top with 42 points to Barbados' 28, but that only cut the overall Carifta winning margin for Barbados over Bermuda to 27 points. On out of cricket, where defending champions Signia Globe Financial Barbados are 2-0 in the West Indies Rising Stars men's under-17 two-day championship being played in Trinidad and Tobago. Despite losing first in his lead to the hosts yesterday on day 1, the young Barbadians pulled back to win by 8 wickets. Resuming on 13 without loss in their second innings, TNT under 17s were bowled out for 106. So that left Barbados needing 131 for victory, and they reached 134 for 2, riding on an unbeaten 86 from Zachary Carter. Now, there were 3 victories in Series 2 of the 2024 BCA Elite Championship today. Playing at Queen's Park, home side Fusion Boutique Spartan took down Wildy by 88 runs. Scores: Spartan 210 and 165 for 6 declared, Wildy 88 and 194. At Rice's, Super Blend Gladiola defeated Yorkshire by 4 wickets. Yorkshire 129 and 158, Gladiola 198 for 7 declared and 90 for 6. At Darrell's Road, Wanderers beat Signia Globe Financial BCA Youth by an innings and 104 runs. Wanderers 315 for 4 declared, BCA Youth 99 and 112. Meantime, at the 3Ws Oval, the hosts, UWY, fought to a draw with Bayview Hotel YMPC, and at Bank Hall, Empire and ESA Field Pickwick also settled for a draw. Rovman Powell will lead a strong West Indies outfit against South Africa in the 3-match T20 series that begins in Trinidad from August 24th. Now, after a 1-0 loss to South Africa in the ICC World Test Championship Series, the Windies will aim to continue their good run in T20s. The squad is notably without all-rounders Andrea Russell and Jason Holder. Russell requested a period of rest and recovery. Holder has been rested following 5 back-to-back tests against England and South Africa. Alec Athnace is in, as well as 22-year-old pacer Matthew Ford, who last played in May in the bilateral series against South Africa. So the full squad reads Rovman Powell, Roston Chase, Athnace, Johnson Charles, Ford, Shimron Hetmeyer, Fabian Allen, Shea Hope, Akil Hossain, Shamar Joseph, Obed McCoy, Gurutesh Moki, Nicholas Puran, and Shafin Rutherford, along with Romario Shepherd. Now, West Indies have won 4 of their 5 bilateral T20 series of late and missed out on a place in the semi-finals of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup this year at home after losing to South Africa. The amassed Barbados Masters cricketers have finished their tour of the United Kingdom undefeated, winning their final match today against Draycott and Hanbury Cricket Club. Amassed Barbados Masters sent the hosts into bat, and they posted 198 for 4 off their 35 overs. Former Barbados and West Indies batter Kirk Edwards, playing on a pro contract, top scored with 108 not out. That included 9 fours and 7 sixes. Marlon Blagrove took 2 for 29. The amassed Masters then got home by 1 wicket off the final ball. They scored 199 for 9, led by Antonio Morris with 125 not out that had 12 fours and 4 sixes, while Keith Seal added 29. Amassed Masters now end their tour with 4 wins and a no decision. On now to football. Barbados remained at the top of Group A when they won their 3rd consecutive game in the Caribbean Football Union's Under-14 Challenge Series being played in TNT. Today they defeated the Cayman Islands 4-1. Goals came from player of the match Amari Small, Jamarco Johnson, Adam King, and Trey Barker. That's it for sports. Carry on will have the weather next.
And before we go, don't miss tonight's episode of The People's Business, which will focus on the new regional ferry service, Connect Caribe. And that's our news for tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in, and good night.